I have noticed something. And yes, I'm sure a lot of you would say, duh, you just learned this. But in all honesty, yes, I just learned it. The thing of it is food. Food is, it plays a huge part. It plays a very, very important part in our, you know, in everything. It's Food is the backbone to culture, to every culture, to any and every culture. It is the backbone. It is at times the most powerful ingredient when it comes to nostalgia. It also is very important to us because we need food for sustenance. We need food to give us the nutrition and the nourishment for our bodies in order for our bodies to function in the way that it needs to. That's how we gain our nutrition, through food. Food is very, very important. And like I said, it is the backbone to any and all cultures. You know, Food, believe it or not, like I said, food is so important that it's a part of history, not just culture, not just sustenance, not just nostalgia, but history. Food, without, look at the potato chip. The potato chip was made by a mistake because a French chef wanted to get back at a restaurateur, like a patron that was giving him, trouble, and he fell in love with the chip. There is this myth, this legend. It was either in Europe or possibly the Middle East. It was a legend or myth somewhere where there was an invading army, and this invading army went into the country that they planned to conquer. But it was a rather exhausting and grueling mission, to a point where they ran out of supplies. They didn't have any food to eat. They were basically starving. They were on the verge of dying. Like, this plan for an invasion was not going to happen. And a woman who saw these soldiers, she didn't know who they were. She just thought, oh, we're at war. Are these soldiers, are they okay? She took them in. She took all these invading soldiers, not even knowing that they were invaders from another country. She took them into their house, gave them a stew, because they were only access, like, she was a peasant, and peasants were only given access to certain foods. And she had basically the leftovers from animals that were butchered, and vegetables that she was able to grow. And she made a stew, she made soup, she made food for them, and they ate, they got back their strength, and they said, okay, we're not going to do this, we're not going to survive, blah, 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 and they went home. Food is what stopped a war. Whether it could be a myth, it could be a legend, or part of history. Either way, food stopped a war. It stopped a war. It stopped an invasion. Like I said, food is such an important part that how can I say, it plays an important part. But also, the thing about food is not all foods are created equal. Like, for example, mondongo. Mondongo is a kind of soup, a sort of stew, like soup. It's a soup. It's got vegetables in it. At times, it has shrimp in it, but the majority of the time, it has tripe. It has cow stomach, and yeah, it's really good. So it's like a soup that is to help you with when you may have partied a little too hard. It's supposed to help you, get better. So Growing up, it was called mondongo. But in Mexican culture, even though it's the same, practically the same thing, it is called menudo, which is kind of funny because there was a Hispanic boy band in like the late 80s, it was in the late 70s to early 80s called menudo. It was with a very, very, very young Ricky Martin. So there's menudo. Curry. Not all curries are the same. You have Indian curry, you have Korean curry, you have Japanese curry. They all have their own ingredients. They're not the same. They're all different. It's the same thing as pizza. Pizza, there's so many different pizzas out there, The pizza is not created equal. You got Domino's, you got Papa John's, Little Caesars, you got Pizza Hut. You got Giovanni's, you have Rosati's, you have all these different pizzas. You even have authentic Italian pizza, American Italian pizza, and just pure American pizza. They're not created equal. Just same thing like frozen pizzas. I grew up with eating frozen pizzas. I grew up eating Tombstone. I grew up eating Jack's pizzas. I grew up eating Red Baron. I grew up eating DiGiorno. I grew up eating the other pizzas that starts with an F. And you got Tony's Pizza. You got all these types of frozen pizzas, and they're all different, Red Baron and Tombstone I can't eat anymore because, like anything, it changes. It's doughy, and it's no longer crunchy with the crust. When I was younger, when I would eat Red Baron or Tombstone, I would eat it. I would take a bite in my mouth, sort of turn the piece that I have in my mouth to my teeth, like kind of like put it in the front and chomp it down, separating the dough and the crust. And I would just eat it that way. I don't know why I did it that way. I just did it. So far Jack's Pizza is the only thing I can eat. The problem is Jack's Pizza is so thin. You literally have to eat the whole thing. You literally have to eat the whole thing. My point is, like I said, not all food is created equal. Look at the bread. Look at the brands of different breads. You have Wonder Bread. You have Bimbo. You have Hostess, Sara Lee, Great Value. You have a ton of different breads from different companies, and they all have their own process. They probably have their own yeast and everything. It's the same thing as jam. Look at peanut butter. Peanut butter. There's so many different brands of peanut butter that they're still peanut butter, but they're different because each brand has to have its own different peanut butter for whatever reason. Either or, not all foods are created equal. And the reason why I say this is because ramen. I had noticed a very, very, very key difference. Okay, so there are different kinds of ramen. Every culture has their own ramen, but so far Japan has pretty much made it clear that they're the main masters of ramen. There's different types of ramen. You have ashi ramen, you have shuya ramen, you have a ton of ramen. You have ramen that has bean sprouts in it. You have ramen that has corn in it. You have ramen that has bamboo shoots in it, seaweed in it. Some ramen is made with miso broth. Others are made with bone broth. There's so many different kinds of ramen. There's not a main ramen. But I have noticed something. And yeah, I learned it. So I have learned a huge difference of ramen, especially when it comes to taste. So recently I went to Syracuse, New York, and went to the Star Mall, which is a rather big mall. It is about the size of a football field. So it's like half the size of its cousin. I like to call it the small cousin of Mall of America in Minnesota. I believe Minnesota, yeah. And the Mall of America is a massive, massive mall that has its own amusement park in it. It has like over 1,000 stores in it, and it's the size of 2 to 3 football fields. It's big. I'm surprised there isn't a hotel in there because how big it is. That's crazy. Which, yeah, there was, when I went to Rhode Island, there was a hotel that was inside the mall, or at least connected to the mall. So that was pretty crazy. But yes. So I went to the Star Mall in Syracuse, New York. And there was a ramen fast food. There was a stand in the fast food court, in the food court of ramen. I went and got some. I didn't like it. The taste, the thing of it is that broth that because you could choose whatever broth you want. That broth, however long it's sitting there, eventually gets old. Eventually, it's just sitting there. It's just sitting in some sort of makeshift heater to keep it heated up. And they take a certain amount, take it to the back, heat it up, boil it, and get it back. It's sitting there, no longer has the flavor, it no longer has the concentrate, it doesn't have anything. Versus if you go to an actual restaurant that is with Asian cuisine, Asian fusion, a Japanese restaurant that actually does ramen, it's going to taste different because right there and then it's being made fresh. It's being made right there and then. It's not just sitting there, It's, it's being made over and over again just so it could be fresh and people can be happy. Yeah, it is very, very different. Ramen from a food court stand and an actual restaurant, they taste very, very different. So I learned stick with the stuff you go to restaurants for. I actually had ramen yesterday. It's called Miso Hungry. That's the name of That's the name of the ramen, and it's made with miso broth. The broth is made out of miso, and I don't know. I guess I wasn't in the mood for ramen as I thought. I was craving it, but I wasn't. But I took it anyway just to get it out of my system. So yeah, this had bean sprout. No, it had corn in it. It had pork belly in it. It had bamboo shoots in it. It had a hard-boiled egg in it, and the little fish cakes in there. So yeah, I ate what I could. But there you are. So yeah, I learned that not all foods. Well, excuse me. I already knew not all foods were created equal. It's just not all foods from a food court are gonna taste good. It's most definitely not gonna taste the same as you would eat at an actual restaurant. That's what I've learned. It's not gonna be the same.